First game, Austin and I played against each other. It's turn 0. I obviously high rolled. This is one of the strongest part about Pleiades is having these draw auras on turn 0 into pump auras. And the palm of your hand is really strong. And with how many auras this deck is playing, going first, you should be able to play a bunch of them and be able to get them into play. Now here I was trying to considering if I wanted to use any of my abilities, but I did end up. I did want to move a counter, or just remove a counter rather, not even move it. That's an interesting thing about the hero too, is you don't necessarily have to move the counter somewhere. You can just remove the counter, which lets you kind of change the timing on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, fortunately, my streaming capabilities on the other side weren't working too great, so you will just get to see me put big number, hopefully, on the table.
Yep, here's a big number. Fix the match. This one's so cool with his the card that you win every clash.
Yeah, that's primarily what you're grabbing. I think into matchups that won't be blocking this, especially early, it's probably pretty good to just grab something like a Nimblism or just like a leave them hanging to disrupt them.
Yeah, I just eat the 10 here. It also lets me be at a lower life total, so that way I can trigger my cries. Encore.
Yeah, I think a really interesting part about this matchup overall is that one hero generally wants to be lower, one hero wants to be higher, like basically all the time to get the extra like boo and cheer effects. So it's like a cool little mini game.
Right, if whoever gets to generate more value out of being in that position. And like, when do you want to deny them that? When do you want to give it to them? A lot of interesting stuff.
It looks like I am lining up as close to a full block as Lyath is humanly capable of against a 13. But sometimes he has an issue if you draw like too many attack actions. It's generally just more beneficial to turn your card sideways in that state. You do sometimes end up wasting mites, which isn't fantastic, but see, here's a spot where it was just a lot more beneficial for me to block out with my hand. Yeah, we waste the 2 mites, but we have like a pretty reasonable 1-card play.
Yeah, in my Cries of Encore generate a lot of advantage. Got to replay the Active Glory, get to release tension in the air as well into play. Set up some more pumps. And now here I'm thinking about, do I want to play my pump now and try to set up on the same turn? There's a lot of different ways you can kind of play it, but I'm going to try to get what happens next into play, so that way I can move my suspense counter over to it and generate some value that way.
Yeah, being able to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as a Dio player, I love moving counters around, dude. It's so satisfying.
As a former Icelander player, I love all the instant speed shenanigans. And also as someone who's played a lot of Gravy, there's a lot of thinking about, tapping your hero sideways on both players' turns, so... Like all the mini games, I think that's what makes these heroes interesting and fun.
Yeah, I love how they have like kind of a straightforward-ish text box, but then all the different play decisions and texture decisions that come from it are pretty interesting.
This looks very familiar.
They called for an encore, dude, so we ran it back.
Did indeed. Looks like I again had some attack actions, so I'm turning them sideways.
Yep. Just gonna eat it. And I opted to play another aura, just try to keep the chain rolling.
Yeah, once Cries of Encore kind of gets looped, especially with Edge of Their Seats, is the other one. It gets kind of hard to like get back into the game because she's consistently able to throw these confidence attacks at you like every turn. So you kind of get put in a blunder sometimes.
And here you just kind of had to say, yo, you might not have had a blue, and you want to get that aura set up. But I'm kind of in a weird spot where I don't have a good way to punish that. Like, I can play one aura, but not necessarily play an attack. My aura only costs 2 here, so I can maybe try to pitch a red, but I'd opt just to wait on it. All these new heroes are hard to play too.
Yeah.
Like Pleiades, there's a lot of managing of your resources in play, trying to set up and pace out the game and everything. A lot of interesting decisions.
I found Lyath to not be the hardest to play, but he feels very difficult to deck build for.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he's still kind of tough to play. Dude, 5 cards is so many. I have felt that playing sealed with him. I was like, wow, this is more decisions I've ever had to make with cards in my hand. Like, it really does kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, when I played him in sealed, it felt, oh my gosh, 17. Oh.
17 and confident, dude. We're coming in.
He's so confident.
It'd be a shame if all your attacks were 3 costs or 3 power or less.
Yeah. Unfortunate. I also found is this the game where I realized that even if they're halved, no, maybe not.
I think so, yeah.
Because it reduces the base, so even if they're okay. Oh yes, this is the
big hammer.
Yeah, but pitching a Nimbulism and a Minnowism with Tunic to swing it, it's pretty rough. Guardian problems, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I get to use my gloves here, get the +1 counter out of it, onto a boulder drop. You're still kind of keeping up okay damage-wise, even though I've thrown a lot of disruption. You're doing all right.
Yeah, he's not too bad at closing gaps, I've found.
Mm-hmm. And this is so scary for me right here. Leave them hanging. This is one of those new cards we're going to have to play around really well. And it's going to take some practice. Because now here he hits my red, or my blue rather, and I'm just stuck. There's just nothing I can do here.
Leave them hanging, such a neat card.
Yeah, where if I had just attacked first, I guess I could. There's not really a great way to do it where you can because what I wanted to do is I wanted to move over my edge of their seats counter, get the buff on it, and then put it on my to be continued for the value. But I can't play my aura, or I can't play my attack, play my aura in response, Pleiades it over, and then have the buff still hit my attack. So it's definitely kind of awkward, and it can be tough to play around. Leave them hanging.
I got a little bit of room, so send a disruptive attack for 9. Fortunately, still got lots of armor. It's not backed up by anything like confidence, but maybe it puts you off playing more auras.
Mm-hmm. And here I block what I can, and then this is a good spot to. This is a spot too where you can consider maybe moving over the what happens next counter to the to be continued. Just to not let that aura counter go to waste.
Yeah, the to be continued card is very annoying. It's like a mini Zen state every turn.
Yeah, it's Valiant Dynamos. It's just one each turn. So, and it's just try to stick and play though. But you can. I mean, right now it's gonna be in play for 3 turns, right? And I'm gonna find more cards in the future to put counters on it. So it just generates a lot of value just sticking around.
Yeah, a lot of these if you can keep around a lot of these blue auras, like what happens next, to be continued. What happens next is the big one where it's pretty reasonable to get the discount on your turn and your opponent's turn because of your instant auras. So you just generate a lot of value throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
As well as just being blue pitches, which Guardians usually won anyway.
Yeah, and having 0 cost auras is really nice for Cries of Encore too, because then you can play it off of a small hand, and if it hits, just play it at 0 cost out of your graveyard.
It's never a good look to have to pitch yellows to Lyath. I think here I'm looking to line up my edge of their seats with the leave them hanging. So I'm pretty So here we give the arms. Oh, it looks like I don't know how to do simple math. Okay, there we are.
And you
there
said, hold on. I think the +1 counter is what got you.
Yeah. Because if our life totals aren't crazy, like behind or in front of each other, so it's not super unreasonable for me to, just pop off with a really big attack. And, we've seen a lot of the big red buff auras, so maybe we can kind of come back from behind a little bit with a really big number.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so you do end up taking 4 here, but you use your whole hand. And I think you got a 0 cost out arsenal here. Yep.
I think we hit
this boy's
right
pretty big.
On 13, yeah.
Exactly 13. Which what's tough about this one is if it towers and it hits, discard. So it's like I kind of just have to give you my whole hand here, or most of my hand at least.
Yeah, and Lyath is an odd guardian in the sense that, like, when most guardians want to turn at least 1 to 2 cards every hand sideways, Lyath never wants to do that, so him getting to keep a full grip is, like, pretty important, and in some of these disruptive matchups, it can be kind of hard to do that.
Yep. So I got to use my legs there, boots on the board, and use that last turn instead of blocking with it. I got to turn it into 3 toughnesses. So now I can use them this turn to block with that extra 3 buff, which basically let me use that card last turn instead of just blocking out. I had to roll the value over a little bit. But the awkward part is now fits the match. Not great against blocking.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. We turned our little bit of tempo gain into just 5 damage, but with a little bit of setup. It looks like I drew a lot of attacks or like middling cards, so. But Fix the Match isn't one that's like particularly important to buff to the moon, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those boots are very, very strong.
Yeah, boots to the boards. Yeah, it's a really, really powerful effect that lets you kind of almost block with like 2 cards, even though they might only send a small attack, and then you just roll that value over to the next turn of blocking.
Now, a thing with CNC that I don't know how often it actually comes up, but the card Edge of Their Seats, I have instant speed pummel-esque people with that card where I just give it the +1, and here I play around it because I don't want to get bamboozled and lose my arsenal.
Oh yeah, the +1 blue aura. Yeah, that one's the suspense is killing me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is.
This one right here. Yeah.
Here. Okay, we got 5 mites, a Terra Sunder.
You got a big boy coming in.
Big fella.
Coming for 9. So I got two prevention from the to be continueds, which is nice. So I should be able to just give a 3 and a 4 and move on with my life, but we'll see what I do. I think I really wanted to be able to keep throwing attacks, but
yeah, Pleiades can be susceptible to like these Rune Blade hands where it's just a lot of pumps. I mean, Lyath can too, so it's a interesting deck building dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So I got away from that.
This is where the confidence token is like really, really strong. So like with dominate, you're able to block it out. But if it was confidence, we would get around all of this because you couldn't give me armor.
Yep.
I initially thought confidence was like in between dominate and overpower, and then I kind of just realized that confidence actually is just sometimes better than dominate in certain scenarios.
It depends on the matchup. Definitely, I think confidence is good too into the decks that just want to give you a bunch of armor to like cover your attack, whatever.
Like KO, for example, or DO.
Yeah. Yep. So I've got a decent amount of room here, because now I can play an aura and then have my aura pop off next turn, but I don't really have a good attack to go with it. And now what's hard here is with the Intimidate, I don't know what's coming after this. So it's like, do I want to play my Edge of the Seats now off of like my 2-block blue? Do I want to... I honestly, a lot of times in this setup, I'm just happy just to kind of see what happens. But there's a lot of interesting choices of when you should be doing stuff.
Sad we haven't gotten off any of these like obnoxiously big numbers. Anytime.
Yeah, this one being for 12.
Yeah, anytime you get to see an attack for like 25 or 30, it's just instant serotonin.
Yeah, it does feel great. So now I'm going to be taking 3 from it, just off my preventions. So we made some more toughness here.
Yeah, getting to kind of roll over that value when you don't have a better way to use the card is pretty good.
I think actually I made a mistake there. I think I was supposed to be able to move over a counter from one to be continued to the other one. Because they're both going to die and might be on my turn otherwise, but I can use one to get an extra turn out of my thing. So small mistake there.
Yeah, lots of moving parts. I think a lot of the skill of this deck is going to be when you play your auras, how you manipulate the counters, and who gets the most value out of moving the counters.
Yep, definitely agreed.
So, it's just stuff to get used to. That's one thing I can kind of applaud LSS on, is like even if the heroes aren't always like really, really good, they're functionally very interesting recently, as opposed to just having like one static line of text.
Yeah, agreed. They kind of create their own like interesting environment that they're trying to get payoffs in. So we come over for 4 extra here, and now I've got some toughness ready to pop off.
Bolting Gesture is such a cool card, but I think
a
lot of these cards, I think I really want to play with the numbers on a lot of them.
Sure.
So I think Lyath, because he sees so many cards, I think he could maybe benefit from playing like some 2 and 1-ofs.
Mm-hmm.
The old Yu-Gi-Oh adage of want to see it some of the time, but not all the time.
Yeah. I mean, he sees a lot of his deck too. He definitely sees a lot of cards. That's funny, to something to think about is like to get through first cycle for Lyath, it's only 12 turns, or for everyone else it's 15 or whatever. And that's not even counting like if you have any draw effects or anything like that.
Yeah, and then Pleiades on average draws about 6 extra cards, right?
Probably, yeah. Oh, this is a scary spot for me. This is where I might get sniped again. Come on. Okay, thank God he hits my red, not my blue. So
Never
we're still able to attack.
No, you can't bamboozle him twice in one game. You get the 50-50, you get the 50-50, and you gotta be happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. It is tough though. Like, it's a scary spot to be in. Yep. I guess maybe I could have moved over my counter on your turn, and then gone to my turn, and then just let it die at the beginning of my turn and cast my thing. So it's Something to always be aware of with sequencing against Lyath.
Like I want to. Okay, it's starting to make more sense why I did this. My cards looked like they all blocked for 2.
And
That'd
then
become.
I'm worried about getting. Yeah, I'm worried about a big hit from here. Battered and broken.
Yeah, battered and broken is very, very strong with cruel ambition in particular. And now it's on hit.
Yeah, it's the combo.
Yeah. And then the card that's currently in your hand, I think that card is like one of the big reasons to play Pleiades. But it's not so good when you're ahead.
Right. It's definitely good on the defense. Or like when Pleiades is down. But with you at 1, a little bit harder to get value out of the card.
It's all a part of the master plan.
Exactly. So I get my counter. I'm gonna crush the week here.
And now I'm hoping that I can keep at least an attack and potentially a pump, because I get to go into my next turn right off rip with 7+7 to my next attack. So, and with him at 3, and if I can find any intimidate, it's a lot easier to close the game.
You also see me not learn my lesson here by, I'm like, I really want this to be continued countered, but I could have gotten blown out by another leave him hanging.
I want to know what's in my hand so bad. I wish I remembered this game better.
I'm gonna bet stuff that doesn't block for very much.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, they had to make his block value fit his stature, unfortunately.
He's a little guy, you know? But
I mean, he's just a little friend.
He has to build up some power, though. It takes him a minute.
Yeah.
I do love the people calling him Tyrion from Game of Thrones, and then Victor is like Jaime from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You got the big handsome brother and the little evil imp guy.
Yeah, but who did everybody end up liking more in the end?
Yeah, I mean Tyrion's one of the great characters.
The goat.
Yeah.
Will Lyath be the goat?
We'll see. I hopefully. Hopefully he's a better ending than Game of Thrones did. How about that?
Yeah, I like to pretend a majority of the last season just doesn't exist. Mainly the last episode.
Yeah. I could fix it though. Give me a couple edits. I could make it work. But well, that's for another day. We'll talk about Game of Thrones some other time. And now we got a big old crush the week. It's only coming in for 8 though. So you should be able to kind of manage it, but the problem is, are you able to send back or attack back? Because you really want to take advantage of these mites. You really want to take advantage of the leave them hanging, but you're at 1, and you really don't want to die.
Yeah, I found that a lot of my games with Lyath, I spend way longer on crafting my defense.
Yeah,
because offense is all like very, very straightforward with him. You know, play the pumps, play the big attack. But you kind of have to navigate your subpar defensive abilities. And it looks like I had a lot of 2 blocks. Luckily, Rampart kind of cleaning up a little bit of that value.
and now give an attack back. Yep, it's a good one too. An intimidate one.
Unfortunately, won't get the on-hit or the +3, but still denying you certain blocking choices is pretty big.
This is coming in for 9, I think.
Yeah, it should be 5... Yeah, 9. Kind of putting another decision point on you to see if you want to play any of those auras at instant speed.
Yep.
That's another thing too. It looks like I hit a red out of your hand, and it probably really wanted me to hit the blue in particular.
Yeah, I really wanted to block with all my reds there.
But the 2B continued, soaking up just a little bit more value too.
Yeah. Valiant Dynamo's doing work.
Yeah.
Now we'll throw a 7. I think. Yeah. That's one thing with Pleiades sometimes is like in these late game situations, it's hard to put together a big size attack. Just because my thing's trying to have to sit around for a turn, or a lot of them are like 2-card plays into my attack that's usually a 2-card play. Where with Lyath, you're really good at converting hands here. It's just all your stuff is just 0 cost pumps and
yeah, I remember this spot pretty well because I'm reading Renowned Grandeur, and I'm like, oh, if I activate my hero power, I actually give you +1. But I have to activate it, otherwise I think I remember this hand pretty well. I think this hand had a lot of 2 blocks in it. So obviously with his static hero ability, they all block for 1. So I now have to jump through some hoops to try to just not be dead. Oh, never mind. That looks like 3 blocks, but it looks like a lot of just blue, not phenomenal cards. I have to give the tunic. Okay. Well, that's not the worst.
Cruel Ambition into a swing. Not bad.
Nah, hammer for 3.
This is for 4. Yeah, for 3. Yeah.
Sad hammer. Technically lethal.
Technically lethal.
Yeah. I found when I'm playing Pleiades, if I'm not playing like the blue buff auras, I feel like I run out of them if I don't see like the Cries of Encore. So I kind of like these like blue base auras. Oh, we get to do it again.
Oh, but I got 0 cost. That's
True.
the secret this time. I was really excited to get you for the 1 with the suspense is killing me, but the leaving them hanging made you have to. You did it first. And now this should be coming in for 7. Which against your 3 cards on 1 should be pretty good here.
Yeah.
Or 8.
Oh, yeah, because it gets. Oh yeah, the suspense.
Oh yeah, the suspense. Yeah.
Oh no, that can't be a good start. I can't imagine that that's a winning strategy.
Nope.
Oh nope, I see.
You were trying to snipe me there. That's what you were trying to do.
Yeah,
so
the 0 cost.
Nothing too crazy back and forth, but the 0 cost cards ended up being really strong. Definitely ended up being strong.
Yeah.
But I think that game really did show like what the matchup kind of feels like, and trading back and forth. Pleiades has some really good disruptive pieces. Lyath if he can get set up and not get disrupted, he can throw just as big disruption back. Where Pleiades is a little bit more flexible with her setups. But I feel like that was a good example of what the games don't play like. What you kind of want to be setting up as both heroes is just these big disruptive attacks. And then the biggest thing about the big disruptive attacks is it doesn't give you room just to play another big disruptive attack the next turn. It gives you room to play all the pumps to play a huge disruptive attack the following turn. So it's like any space you can make for yourself, it kind of doubles up on how powerful it is. Because now you get to spend those next 4 cards to play even more pumps, and then your follow-up turn is for 1 billion usually.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
definitely powerful.
Yeah, I think anyone who really enjoyed pumping arrows to the moon with Azalea will really enjoy Lyath, just because you have all these 0 for 3 front pumps. Not nearly as powerful as something like Lace with Inertia or anything like that, but still usually gets the job done when the on hit of your attack say you skip your turn. But yeah, I think people who enjoyed Azalea will like both Lyath and Pleiades. I think Pleiades has a little bit more going on. Maybe in the words of Lucas, is maybe a bit more of a robust deck overall, but I think Lyath could have a spot. He's just a little guy. But I think deck building for these heroes is super interesting, and I've been having a blast just making 80 drafts of every deck.